Community Podcast.
Welcome to the Community Podcast. I'm James Smith, and today we have a special guest with us, our new Recreation Supervisor, Chris Sullivan. Chris, thank you for joining us today.
Of course, I'm excited to be here.
So being that you're new, Chris, the first thing I need you to do is just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know a little bit just from the background information, the interview, and your first week here. I feel like I've known you for a while now. But I would like you to just introduce yourself to the community.
Okay, so I'm from New York. Don't hold that against me. My family and I moved down around February. I was a New York City police officer from 1998 till around 2019. I retired then. My wife is a mental health therapist. She's operating her business down in Virginia now. I have two sons in college. One is at Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, and my other son is at Shenandoah in Winchester.
Awesome. So, Chris, you've worked with us about a week. This is beginning your second week. You already had a pretty big event. You want to tell us about your event you had this past Saturday?
Yeah. So I worked a week. I was started on Monday, worked the full week, and then that led right into our first free clinic, our lacrosse clinic that we had been planning for a little while, and it went great. We had a bunch of kids that had never played lacrosse in their life, and then we had some kids that have been playing for a couple of years. We had two separate age brackets, and it was a great event. I spoke to a lot of the parents. They seemed to really enjoy it. I spoke to a lot of the people that were just in the area, and they were excited about lacrosse coming to Louisa.
So how did you originally get involved with lacrosse?
So I started coaching when my sons were around 5 years old. I started coaching football, Pop Warner football. And then maybe 2 years later, I started coaching youth lacrosse. Because once you start coaching, then everybody wants you to coach. So I started coaching then, and then I coached youth for probably about 10 years. And then when I retired, I was asked to coach at the high school, where I started coaching around 2020. We had my first season on JV. I did a couple of years there, and then I started coaching varsity. I coached football and lacrosse at the high school.
So based on your previous experience as a coach, but also working as a New York police officer, how does that make you the right candidate for this position?
So I think in terms of being a police officer, I think our motto is protect and serve, right? So I think that our job for the parks is to serve the community. I think that we are here to offer programs and clinics and activities for our community. So I think the first goal is to serve our community. In terms of coaching, I've built good relationships with the student athletes that I've coached, and also the parents, because to have a successful program, you need to have good communication with the kids that you're coaching as well as the parents, because you want them to invest in you. You want them to buy into what you're teaching their kid. So good communication with the parents goes a long way.
So I know you were involved in Parks and Rec in a different capacity in New York. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So right around when I started coaching, we utilized a town park. And at that time, they were looking for volunteers to serve on their Park and Rec board. I volunteered to do that as well. I did that for about 10 years. My final 2 years there, I was the chairman of the board, of the park board. And we did very similar things to here. We ran events, we ran their sports programs, we hosted outside events from outside people coming in to use the facilities. So I have a lot of experience with that, as well as budget. We had to set a budget in that parks department. We had employees. So very similar to what we have going on here.
So tell me, what excites you about this position? I know, so you started a week ago, but I feel like you just hit the position running. I mean, you've been, hit the ground running, I guess it is. You've been on the go. You've been making phone calls, contacting people, building relationships, and again, then you end your first week with a very successful camp. Tell me a little bit, what where does that come from? Where's the driver? What is it about sports and just events that you're passionate about?
Yeah, so you just used the word passion. I am very passionate about coaching. I realized it probably about 10 years ago. I had a friend ask me, what are you into? And it was funny because he asked me, and I said, well, my family, which it's a common answer, but I never really thought about it. And I really started thinking about it, and I realized it was coaching. I love coaching. I love teaching youth how to be successful, how to use the skills that they have in the best way to help their team or on an individual basis. So I love that. I love coaching. But at the same time, I also enjoy bringing programs to the community. So for example, we had someone come in and said they wanted to do a Shakespeare in the Park. I didn't know anything about it, but I said, hey, if there's enough interest, let's try it. And they came in and they did a production. And we had a bunch of people, and it was super successful. So like, I enjoy that aspect of someone coming to us and saying, hey, we'd like to do this. We think there's an interest in it, and we run with it. And it's a great program. Like I love doing stuff like that. And the community, I think the community enjoys that stuff because they like to be a part of it. They like to come to the county and say, hey, we would like to do this. This is what our kids are into. This is what we're into. And then we can facilitate that. And I love doing that as well.
So one of the things we talk about here at Parks Direct is our ability to build community. And we do that, at least we attempt to do that through the youth sports as well. How do you think your experience, and especially with not just lacrosse, but in sports in general, how do you think that will allow us to continue to build community?
So I think here in Louisa, I think it starts with our child care program that gets people here. I think the next step is sports. I think getting kids involved in sports gets them active with other students, other athletes. But it's not necessarily sports. It could be our swim programs. It could be any programs that we're offering. It just gets them involved in the community, gets them around other kids, gets them active, gets them socialized, and then also gets them around counselors and coaches and people that have their best interest, that want to teach them something, want to get them more involved, just get them around other kids and just getting more active in that community.
So besides lacrosse, are there some other programs or other ideas that you have, or other ideas in terms of what you want to see here in Louisa?
Yeah, I mean, so I want to dive into what we have. I want to see what we have in terms of sports and other activities, and I want to see what the community wants. I'm excited to talk to people and see, what are we not giving? What can we give more? How can we give this particular sport in a different way? How can we offer it to more kids? If we have a program that's only serving a small community of our youth or of our teenagers, how can we make it broader? How can we appeal to a larger group of our teens and get them in the building, or get them to one of our fields, or out in the activity, out in, like a scavenger hunt, something that's going to get more teens and young adults and even our adults. How can we get them more involved, and what are they looking for? What are they looking for us to provide to them?
I think one thing that stood out in the original interview process was your desire to impact people, specifically youth, but in general, you realize the opportunity that we have as a department to make a difference in our community. And that's one of the things that excited us. Where did that come from? I mean, as a youth, did you participate in sports? But where did you get that passion to now want to give back and use your experience and your previous opportunity that you've been around to give back to the community?
So I did play sports growing up. I played football, I played Little League, I played basketball, and then I played in high school. And I feel, I mean, in terms of giving back to me, the rewards that I get is watching a kid play at a young level, get to the high school level, and then move on to the next level. So I have kids that I started coaching when they were 5 or 6 years old, and I just saw them graduate high school, and then they got to their championship. So like, for me, that's rewarding to have them, hey, coach, thanks for giving me my first lacrosse stick. Thanks for getting me, onto a football field for the first time. Like that, I love that stuff. Like I love seeing these guys succeed at something that they might not have even thought they could even do.
Right.
And because we got them involved in that sport, they got a lot out of it.
Yeah, as someone who participated in sports, as a youth and had great parents, also great coaches and great mentors in my life. And I think, the sports piece is something that you can take a lot away from sports in terms of how you live your life, and understanding the work that it takes to be successful. And it's not something you can fake. No, I don't care how athletic you are and how mature you are, how strong you are. When it comes down to sports, people will see that either you put work into it or you did not. And I think sports is one of the things that's kind of a universal to all. If you have that opportunity to participate, you can grow both through the sport, but also through your experiences and building relationships. And I think, when you talk about the lacrosse, I think that's something that it's going to be a new program for us. But it's also now I'm thinking, hey, maybe this is somebody who wasn't excited about playing basketball, didn't want to play soccer, and now we're bringing something in that, may attract someone that maybe they haven't been playing, maybe they've been inactive, and now this is something that will get them off the sofa, to the turf fields
Right.
and hopefully out there playing.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that as you come to our department knowing, hey, I'm about to create a new program, something that, has potential not only to be a recreational program, but hopefully down the road, I think you would like to see it within the school system as well.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right? So, I mean, and like I said, like talking to parents, there was a lot of people who said, like, we don't want to travel. We don't want to have to go to Richmond. Right. We don't want to have to go to Charlottesville. We want it here. And it's funny because last night we went to a restaurant and one of the coaches was wearing the T-shirt from the clinic, and then the waitress said, "Hey, where are you guys coming from? UVA?" Because it was an orange shirt, and we said, "No, we had a local clinic here in Louisa," and she was a young girl, and she said, "I graduated from Louisa. I wish we had lacrosse." So I just in the short time I'm here, it seems like there's a want for it, and I hope to bring that to Louisa.
All right. So a short time you've been here, but I know you have been talking to people in the community. What are some of the other wants or needs, or what are you hearing from other people in the community?
So I think that people want to come together. I think they want to be on the same page and share an experience together. I think that's one of the best aspects of sports is getting together on a Saturday morning, waking up early, setting the alarm, getting your kids on the field. I think a shared experience in sports. I think that's what people are looking for. They want to feel like they're part of a community and everyone on the same team.
Yeah, and I think that opportunity to build relationships is huge. The county is continuing to grow and bringing people together at a level where they can compete. Not only are the youth, meeting and greeting and forming relationships, but also the parents. And I think as we talk about from Parks and Rec standpoint, we're very big on building community as well. And I think sports allows that. And how about with your event this past weekend? Did you notice parents coming together talking, or youth out there that, hey, this is their first time, with doing something on the turf fields, and not only are they having a good time, but they're also building relationships out there?
Well, they love the turf. That's one. They had a lot of good things to say about the turf, and yeah, I felt like a lot of parents, when I would go over towards the bleachers, a lot of parents would say, "Hey, can I help out? What can I do? How can I be more involved? How can we make this a thing? How can we make this happen?" So just right there, it was very promising. It seemed like a lot of people wanted to be involved and get it off the ground.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about, let's say, your first year here with Parks and Rec. What do you hope to accomplish looking back on that first year?
So, I mean, my personal goal would be I want to get lacrosse going. But at the same time, with that said, I want to get a feel for what the community wants. I want to really, get my finger on what exactly can we do better? What programs do we not have? And the programs that we do have, how do we make them better? And what do we not have? But yeah, in a year from now, I'd like to get lacrosse up and running, and I'd like to get more kids active in our programs, sports and everything else included, more teens involved, and more adult programs. You know, what programs are adults looking to do on a Wednesday night? You know, what do they want to, you know, do you want to come in and throw cornhole? Do you want to play volleyball? What can we offer you that you're going to, you know, come out, use our gym? Maybe we'll have a kids drop off, so, you know, someone's watching your kids while you're doing whatever activity we provide.
I think what's been very impressive to me is that when we talk about programming, we talk about events and whether it's youth leagues or whatever, you talk about it from a standpoint of impact a lot as well. You know, and you even mentioned some of the youth that you've worked with, or, you know, and where they are now, and just being able to use sports to either get to college or whatever it may be, but the growth that happens with sports and participating in different sports. So I think that's neat to see, and I think it's something that I'm excited about. Just to, you know, as I get the questions from you, being a new person, you know, the questions that are coming, they're the right questions, and the questions are not just about making a small change, but making a change that's going to have a big impact. And I like the fact that you're looking at it through that lens, and not just saying, "Hey, I want to fix something now," but it's how can I fix something or create something that will be positive, but will make a difference in our community. So I'm excited about the little details, and I can't wait to maybe a year from now when we do this podcast again and talk about, you know, what you've been able to accomplish over the year. So I'm definitely very excited. Anything else you would like to share with the people that are watching?
The only thing that I would add is come in and see us. You know, you can email us, you can call the office, you can come in and just tell us what's going on. Tell us what program you'd like to see us implement. We're here. You know, I'm always walking up to the pool. I walk into pickleball. I try and go to as many events as I can because I want to talk to the coaches. I want to talk to the programmers. I want to talk to the people that are doing it. So if anybody wants to reach out, email us, call us, stop in the office, say hello. We'll talk. We'll chat.
Yeah, I think you're definitely open for feedback, and I like the fact that you want to know all the details, and you want to give you know, people a chance to share with you their opinions. We are as a department, we will only be successful as we are in our ability to serve the community.
Right.
It's not about us. It's not about you. It's about, you know, the programs and the impact that they have on our community.
Right.
What else would you like to share, Chris, before we close today? If somebody's watching for the first time and they're meeting the new Recreation Supervisor for the department.
I'm just excited to get going. I'm excited. I mean, it's a lot. We offer a lot of programs, so my head is kind of spinning right now, trying to get everything on paper, trying to figure out our daily operations. So it's going to take me a little bit to get my feet going. But I'm just excited to dig into everything that we offer. And like I said, how can we make it more efficient, and how can we make it run better for the community?
Right. So you mentioned quickly a little bit about the turf fields. Mm-hmm. How do you think the turf fields will impact our ability to offer more programs and to offer higher quality programs?
So it's funny. We had some coaches at the lacrosse clinic that play in college, and they were mentioning how nice the turf was. So these are guys that are playing at the collegiate level, and they were mentioning how beautiful our turf was. So I think that's going to bring people in. I think whether it's just our local youth programs or some type of tournaments or you know, like a travel program, I think we're going to attract some people into Louisa with those turf fields.
So what should parents be looking out for? How will they find out about the new programs? How are we going to communicate and get the message out to them?
Yeah, so right on the county website, right on Louisa County Park and Rec, right on our website, we have all of our sports programs, all of our activities, everything's right on that website. Yeah,
I would definitely check out the website. I would check out the Facebook page. We do a good job of trying to get our programs listed and get them out there early. And then we do a recap. So we talked about the camp this past weekend, if you go to our Facebook page now, you'll see pictures from that camp. So you'll get a feel through those pictures to see what was going on, and just the intensity, and just watch the people, the participants' facial expressions. Because I was out there for about 30 minutes, sitting in my car, just watching, and it was like, man, they were just enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, they got up, whether they made the goal when they were shooting on the goal or missed the goal, just the energy and the passion and the excitement to run through the drills, and I think try something new. You know, sometimes again we get stuck. Okay, it's football, basketball, baseball.
Right,
you know?
right.
Just to bring something, another experience to the county is a positive, and it's something I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to your leadership with the rec program. I think, you know, just from our discussions, from your past experience, I think you bring a great deal of leadership that will be needed to help us move forward. And again, I can't wait to sit back in these chairs a year from now and be like, man, tell me about the year, Chris.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thank you, guys. If you have any questions for Chris, feel free. You can reach out to him at Parks and Rec. He's got a lot of great ideas, and just keep watching, because we got some great programs coming up under his leadership.